bevy of topics affecting women today. Let's start the show with your host, Karen Pulver.
Welcome everybody to Grateful Goddesses. Do you like that intro? Well, that is the intro for the podcast and YouTube. And if you subscribe, you can see that as well as the favorite things in the middle or near the end and then the outro. And that I've been kind of my brainchild. I've been working on that for almost 2 years now, and it's been quite amazing. I've interviewed, like I mentioned before, people from all over the world, ages 24 to 94, from all different backgrounds. And our guest tonight I interviewed about a year ago. But let me tell you, I met her, very interesting story. Some of you may know I do some modeling. And I was so excited because it was my first runway show. And I went and I met this designer, and she was absolutely strikingly beautiful, but also her charisma and her inside beauty matched her outside beauty. And she said to me, "You are going to wear red." And I said, "Red? I never wear red. Like I wear black, gray, white, maybe tan. Like I'm not wearing red." And she's like, "You're wearing red, and I'm going to design this dress for you, and you're going to walk and represent my, this red, beautiful gown." So it was just really an amazing, incredible night. I walked around in this red dress. They did my hair in this absolutely crazy hairstyle with braids, and it was like about 10 pounds. And I wore this designer dress that I felt like I was at the Oscars. And I met her afterwards. We talked some more. And what I love about her is her story. And I said to her, "Okay, you are not only an amazing, incredible designer." I use that word amazing a lot. I'm sorry, I just can't help it. "You are just a beautiful designer, but you are just a beautiful person, and your story is worth sharing. Can I interview you on the Grateful Goddesses?" And when we were talking, I didn't realize how much she had been through. So I just want to tell you a little bit about her before I bring her on. So Sylwia Wilczynska, she came here from a communist country 23 years ago, okay? She only spoke Russian. She used to wear hand-me-downs in Russia, okay? Her sisters, she talked about her sisters' jeans that were like rock hard, and she never really had her own clothes. So she decided to make her own clothes. In fact, her first outfit that she designed, I believe, and she'll correct me if I'm wrong, was a dress. It's kind of like, The Hills Are Alive, Sound of Music. She took the drapes and made herself a skirt. And she knew that it was her dream that she was not going to remain in Poland her whole life. So she took graphic design and painting. And then she also used to model herself. And she realized when she was modeling and wearing these outfits that, wow, I can make these outfits too. And so she used to think that this jacket was the most intimidating thing to make, but she actually made it. And really, like, I'm wearing her jacket, one of her jackets, and look, it's beautiful, right? So as we were talking though, her story got even deeper. And she was talking about the hardships that she faced, not only living, coming from a communist country, but domestic abuse. And, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, right? And we were talking about it, and I looked at her, and I'm like, wow, you went through that. You managed to escape it. And not only that, you built this fashion empire for yourself. You built this store. You have all these designs. You have to share this with the world. So I interviewed her, and please check out her episode. I believe, Lauren, you shared the link because we go into detail about that story. So welcome, Sylwia, to GGTV.
Thank you for having me, Karen. It's nice to see you.
Okay, I told you she was gorgeous.
Thank you. Very sweet. You're very kind.
And your store. Tell us where your store is located now for the Chicagoans.
So I'm located in Lincoln Park, Chicago, 2512 North Housestead. And we're very happy surviving COVID and the craziness that we just went through. And we're here, ready, and the door opens every day. And I just actually finished my appointment, so that's why we're talking in the store.
Do you remember when we met And you told me about the red dress that you were going to make.
Absolutely. How could I not put a beautiful blonde in red?
Well, I'd never worn red before. Like, I never chose red. I was just so comfortable wearing black, gray, tan, white. And what do you think about that? Because a lot of people get stuck in that with fashion.
I understand if you have to wear black, and surprisingly, I'm wearing black today, which white would be usually my first choice, but it's just too cold to wear white. I feel like it. But I always say to my clients, why would you wear black when probably about 80% of the party will be wearing black? And sometimes women say, oh, I don't want to stick out. And I said, no, that's a completely wrong idea. If you're going to a party, you need to be visible. No other way. So it's red, it's pink, and it's other colors that are obviously visible and showing off the beauty of my clients.
We do have some men that are here joining us tonight. And we do talk about, though, that when couples go out, some of your clients are going as a partner with a high profile male, and they don't want to stand out because they want their partners to stand out. So I know you spoke on our episode about that. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, it was actually about a specific client that was going to a big event, and her husband was speaking to quite a big group of guests. And she said, I would like to wear something maybe in brown or black because I don't want to be visible. And I said, this is the craziest thing. You're the partner you're a partner of the person who's the most important person speaking there. You're the second most important person there. And I said, there's no chance you need to stay invisible. Everyone will be looking at you. So I dressed her in hot pink, and that was fabulous.
How did she feel? What did she say to you after?
Oh, she loved it. She was very unsure of the color, but as soon as she saw the gown on herself, it almost put a different life into the gown itself and different attitude into her being, and it's a smile. Plus the pink lipstick was just absolutely outstanding.
Right. Okay. So your designs are very classic, and you talk a lot with us about respecting yourself as a woman and not necessarily showing so much skin, because, I have 2 teenage daughters and they like to wear the short and the crop and the whole thing. And it just drives me crazy. But then I have to remember when I was a teen. But what are your thoughts on that?
I understand we all go through specific stages when we grow up. I went through my crazy, not necessarily showing skin, because I don't think my father will let me out of the house. Right. But we all went through crazy stages, I'm sure. And I understand it. It's expression in a way, and it's also peer pressure. If you're in high school, most likely right now you're wearing either PJ bottoms or crop top and maybe Lululemon shorts if it's warm, and something else when it's cold. It's quite extreme, and we all see it. I just traveled to Europe and I had a chance to be in Italy, and all the young, beautiful women there wear crop tops and very short skirts. It's way too cold for that. But I'm much older, so obviously I look at it differently. But do we need to show it so much? Probably not. We can express ourselves differently, but I think that comes with age.
Yes. And also, we have to talk about your own personal style.
My own personal style. My sister calls me a Ken because she thinks it's conservative. I actually think it's conservative rockster. I tend to go towards classic pieces, but maybe with a little bit of a sexy twist to it. So if it's a knee-length dress or a skirt, it will have some exciting cut to it or fabric. I'll definitely introduce something newer to the old school way of cutting and tailoring.
Now, your story, like The Sound of Music with the curtains, can you please share that? Because it is classic.
So the curtains actually come from, I'm sure you know of the movie Gone with the Wind. And
that's right. What did they say? Well, Sound of Music too. Didn't she take? Yes, you're nodding, Vanessa. they made the outfits for the kids, but Gone with the Wind. That's right. Okay, go ahead.
So that's how I think of, if I see green velvet, I definitely think of Gone with the Wind. That's why I love green velvet. But I actually started chopping up my mom's tablecloth. And that didn't go well for a few seconds. But then the skirt came out really nicely. And the idea was, I'm a second daughter, not a first son. At the time, living in Poland, you couldn't afford some things, and you also couldn't get some things in the stores. Mm-hmm. So with my rebellious attitude, I didn't like wearing hand-me-downs. So I had to have my own original piece. And that's how it started. I actually made it by hand, and I couldn't use sewing machine because my mom was afraid I'm going to either stitch my fingers or break the sewing machine. So I ended up making it by hand, and it was quite lovely.
So we're going to take a little shift in our conversation because this happened kind of unexpectedly, but I'm grateful that it happened because it allowed us to really dive deep, especially in your episode, about domestic abuse. Can we talk about that, if you don't mind? I know it's a very vulnerable topic, but I feel like it's just so important.
In a way, it is a vulnerable topic. On the other hand, we don't realize at least 50% of humans around us went through some kind of a domestic violence. It could be verbal, it could be physical, mental. It really doesn't matter what religion, nationality, race people are. 50% of people around us experience something in their life. Wow. So this is exactly how we met, because I decided to start our yearly
fashion show, right? It was for, that's right.
Yes.
That escaped my mind. It was a charity event. That's right.
Yes. And it was quite of a big event to handle. It was something that I had to learn how to handle, but it was a beautiful experience. We ended up having 450 plus people with the fashion show, and all of a sudden people got excited about this, because even between my clients, when I was inviting them to the event, people open up and people talk about this, and they really share what they went through. And as adults, we end up with the PTSD from whatever happened before. And it's not like we're broken, because we're not. But PTSD is a thing that not necessarily is so easy to be organized in our heads. It's something we have to maybe go to therapy, maybe read on, maybe talk to other people about. And I believe that it's I call it a disease. Domestic violence is a disease. And unfortunately, it's a hidden, shameful thing that happens inside of homes that people don't want to share, talk about, and hiding it inside of us. So I feel like there should be some kind of a light put on it, because it's so shameful, we're hiding it, and it really should be talked about so it doesn't happen as much.
Are you able to share a little bit of your personal experience and how you were able to get out of that situation?
I was raised in a very strict family. My father was extremely strict. Things like short shorts and crop tops were just not even a question. I had to be a great student. I had to be a great daughter. So when you think about getting a B and your father not being satisfied with a B, asking why is it an A or A plus, it's quite of a pressure. So then when you deal with things like this, which is really mental abuse, then you go through physical things. As a physical abuse, none of it is pretty. None of it. I feel like the reason why I want to really talk about this is because as adults, we have a choice. We have a choice of leaving a place where we're uncomfortable, unhappy, unsafe. Mm-hmm. As a child, you have no choice. Mm-hmm. You're stuck unless you either get help from people that are next to you and see it. But most of the time, no one wants to basically stick their nose into somebody's problem. Mm-hmm. And you're stuck with it. You just have to push through it, and then you have to deal with it as an adult. So I would like to put some kind of an attention to that problem, because I think no virus as COVID, no other things on this planet are more hurtful than domestic violence.
We were talking today a little bit about verbal. Sometimes people think, oh, it's okay. This was said to me. It was just a little hurtful. It's not a big deal. How does a person know that it's actually harmful? Is there an even answer to that question, or is it just like how you feel? Do you know?
I think if you're the person that is being hurt, and if you're a child, you might be aware of it, but you might not. Sometimes things that are said to a little human being are really not registering the same way as they would with adult. So if you hear hurtful things, you might feel you're not enough. Your parents don't love you, or whoever is hurting you doesn't love you. And you don't think of it as, then it later comes as a PTSD kind of a problem that you have to address. And a lot of times we don't address it properly because we just don't know it's a problem. So it's quite interesting, because there are a lot of programs that you can learn at, or you could read a lot of books on that topic. And I kind of stumble on it because I didn't know. I never thought about having any problems. I was just tough cookie, raised the way I was. And was it hard? Yes, but I'm an adult, right? But those things come out.
Yeah.
And then I started questioning myself. I said, why certain things happen in my life and they go in a circle? Why do I get bothered or stressed out, or maybe even get panic attacks once in a while? Where does it come from?
Right.
And then I started reading about this. And when you really look into it, books like Adult Children of Alcoholic and Disorders, stuff like this, you could buy online. If it's shameful, if you don't want to share it with anyone, buy a book online, read it. And it's quite amazing how many people went through the same issues. And even just last year, I read a book of David Goggins. He's hysterical. He swears a lot on his YouTube channel, but I like his book because he shares what he went through as a child. And the craziest thing is, he lived in US, completely different race, completely different religion, completely different upbringing, but he had exactly the same experiences as I did.
Wow.
Yeah. So reading his book, it in a way, it shocks you that exactly the same thing happens somewhere else at the same time. But on the other hand, when you really look at the statistics and realize it does not matter what the country is or race, it happens everywhere. So
yeah, and the most important thing is to reach out and get help, whether it be to tell someone. I mean, reach out, right? And just.
I also feel it's observing. I'm sure you know, at school, you see how children react when they get graded in the way that maybe not satisfying for their guardians, parents. It depends on their situation. And you can see how children react. Some will cry, and some will say, oh, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
That is so true. And thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that, because that is really important for people to know. And even if they suspect someone is, going through that, to definitely, report that or just be that listening ear. Okay, so let's get back to fashion. What is your favorite style?
My favorite style. My favorite style, I would say, mine, or my favorite style is basically style that makes you smile, that makes you feel assertive. Something you want to pick up your head to and walk straight and proud.
Well, we talked on the episode that I asked you what's the best accessory, and you said
smile.
I was thinking you would say purse or piece of jewelry or makeup or the red lipstick. Your smile. Why?
I feel that the smile, you can open any doors with smile, first of all. And I always joke about this. I have two little nieces, not so little, 15 and 10. But I still look at them as little. And I always say to them, I said, even if you would lose a shoe or you would have something that completely doesn't work on your outfit for some strange reason, some kind of an accident, you pick up your head, you walk into the room with the biggest smile, and no one will realize that something is not right. Because
funny, because when I just coming to me in seventh grade, I sat down and split my pants. And my friend came over and said, here, and she wrapped her sweatshirt around me, but and she's like, just act like it didn't happen.
Yeah,
it's so true. Because if I would have been like people would have been, right?
That's exactly what I think about this.
It means those kinds of things have happened to everybody. Okay, so you shared the smile with us, and I did a little research on smiling. And I wanted to say to our audience, those that, by the way, are listening here live in our studio audience on Zoom, as well as those listening to the stream, the benefits of a smile is one of the easiest ways to make your emotions to be a more confident state, right? And so what we're going to do tonight, and I want to explain to people joining in who are just kind of listening on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, GGTV or Grateful Goddess TV, we like to interview the guest, but we also like to take it that one step further and do some activities. So even if you're not in our live audience, you can do this as well. Okay, and then we're going to go into breakout rooms. And while we're in breakout rooms discussing our reactions, both Sylwia and I will talk about some of these beautiful outfits that she's made for me and some of the fashion trends. So we're going to do some smile exercises. Okay, the first thing though that I want to do is measure your smile. And I, again, did some research. What you're going to do is take your index finger. So everyone hold up your index finger. And if you're listening, hold it up. You're going to smile with your mouth closed. And then you're going to measure your smile from the corner of one side to the other. Okay? Smile. If your smile is as big as your finger, you're great. Okay. If it's a little smaller or even just the exact size, there's some work we have to do. I'm not going to ask around the measurements because, but we are going to do some exercises to increase your smile because it's been researched that smiling is actually related to helping you feel happier. Who here walks on the street and smiles at people? Raise your hand. Okay, it is a Canadian thing, I have to say. I'm part Canadian, Sylwia, I'm dual citizen. And when I go back to Toronto, everyone smiles and they say good morning. But here in Chicago, it just doesn't happen. When I smile and say good morning, they think I'm absolutely crazy. But hey, we're gonna change that right here tonight. So your homework, everybody, is to tomorrow when you're going walking your dog or getting your coffee or walking with your kids, smile and see what people do. But we're going to do some exercises. The first one, and this is a good way to start your day, is we are going to do a forced smile, and we're going to make it a crazy forced smile. Normally, you're supposed to hold it for 30 minutes, but due to our time constraints on GGTV, I'm going to count to 30. And I'm going to time you for 30. So we are going to smile. Smile as crazy as you can. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. I'm going to see everybody. Are you smiling? 1, 6, 7, 8. Hey. Okay, notice how you're feeling with this forced smile. You can raise your eyes and put your hands up and woohoo! Now, if you're having trouble doing this, you keep doing. I have a couple jokes, and they're related to fashion. Never talk to me about fashion. It goes in one ear and out the other. Bop, bop, bop. Boop. Okay, my next joke. What do fashionable ducks use to make s'mores? Glam crackers. All right. So that is an exercise that you can do every day. Are you guys feeling better already?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do, we're going to lift your chin up and you're going to exaggerate the kiss. You're going to make the kiss as smoochy as possible. So I'm going to demonstrate. Okay? And we're going to do that 20 times. Are you ready? Go. 1. Okay. Now, I have to tell you, for those of you that are thinking about facelifts or Botox, all of these exercises are going to strengthen your facial muscles, because when I was researching about the smile, we have so many benefits of exercise, but we don't know that we can actually exercise our facial muscles as well as helping us to feel more confident in the smile. Okay, the next exercise. This is fun, right? Are you ready? We are going to do jaw circles. So I will demonstrate. You're going to push your jaw out and you're going to circle around 3 times one way and then 3 times the other. So it's like this. Push your jaw out. Okay, ready? Let's go. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then the other way. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one I actually did in my improv class at Second City. When I was researching and I found this one, I was like, I did that. So it's also good for vocal coaching. And I see Ro DeRose. Smile, Ro. Ro's here, Ro DeSaro. I still called you. Ro is here, and she talks a lot about gutsy gal and like putting yourself out there. And I know you probably do this as well. So these are A-E-I-O-U. And what we're going to do is say the vowels very pronounced and slow and exaggerate. And you're supposed to do it 4 times. We're going to do it 2. So ready? A, E, I, O, U. One more time. Ready? A, E, I, O, U. All right. Are you getting a little sore? You're going to have ibuprofen tomorrow, everyone. Okay. The next one, I'm giving you a little break. It's called the thinker. It's a little rest. Not really. Okay. So you're going to take your fist. It kind of is. Take off your ring if you've got a ring, because you don't want to jab yourself. And you're going to push your palm against your chin and push your chin so it's like a boom, right? Don't knock yourself out, but push down and push up at the same time. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. You ready? Go. 1, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. This is something you might want to do on your morning commute, because people will think you're so smart. You're thinking you can do some of these when you're out in public, right? You just never know. And you're supposed to do this 4 times, but I won't make you do it 4 times tonight. Okay, Sylwia, what did you think of those exercises?
Quite interesting. I feel the muscles. I feel like I didn't exercise it enough, I guess, through my life, because if I feel it now, it means that I wasn't moving it. And I talk every day.
Also talk about, and I'd love everyone to do this, sit up and push your shoulders back, chest out. You know, we talk about that Superman pose, you know, hands on your hips. Let's do that. And Lauren, can you put us in a breakout room? And we're going to talk about those exercises, smiling every day and all that kind of stuff. And Sylwia, you and I will stay and talk about these glorious exercises.
How long?
Yeah, we'll be back in like 7 minutes.
7, okay. Go to your breakouts.
Okay, Sylwia.
Yes.
So for our viewers that are listening, watching on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you told me to wear red. And you designed this absolutely stunning dress for me. Sleek lines. I love the asymmetrical. And I got so many compliments on this. It's not only the color, but the style. Can you tell us, because you have a lot of colors of this style, what inspired you for this style?
when you think about classical pieces, they could be boring in a way sometimes. So I wanted to offer something that has a different flair. I use asymmetrical colors. I use asymmetrical trims to make it just a small twist to it. So this could be worn as a business type dress because it shows, but it really doesn't. But it could also translate to a very nice cocktail dress or going out to a nice date with a husband or boyfriend.
So I wore this dress a few times. I wore it with heels. I wore it with a blazer and sneakers one
There you
night.
go.
I put on like a leather jacket and sneakers because, it was just so fun, like to do that with the red skirt. So I love that. I want to show another piece. This pattern is this skirt.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah, I love this. So what inspired you for this?
So this is kind of a classical but rockstar coming out inside of me because the chains and the camouflage is kind of military and it doesn't really, it might not seem glamorous, but on the other hand, when you put it into a pencil skirt and you connect it together, it's just
comfortable. It's so comfortable because it has this forgiving elastic waist. And I actually wore this with a white I like the sneaker look. I don't know. I wore this with a white t-shirt and sneakers and a leather jacket one night. And then I also wore it with boots, like short boots with like more classy with like a nicer black blouse. So that was fun. Now, the jacket you're wearing, I have too.
I know.
This outfit, you made this jacket out with a not pencil, I'm not saying it right. Paper pants and also wide pants. I got both, Lauren.
Oh, that's cool.
I couldn't resist. But the thing is it's like two different outfits if you just change the pant.
Yes.
Right? But about this inside, this like lining, it's so pretty. And how do you choose the linings?
I feel because it's black jacket, some people might think it might be boring, although I think the cut is beautiful because it's so nicely tailored. I feel like it needs a nice peekaboo. So obviously, if you're going out, not many people will have the pleasure of seeing the inside of your jacket.
People do though, because I left it open and I showed people because it's so pretty.
But I feel like the clothes should be beautiful on the inside too, because it should be a pleasure for us to wear it, not just show it on us.
Now, of course, my gold jacket with the
love it.
It's so fun. You can dress it up or down. My favorite of what you make though are these jumpsuits because I got the cream jumpsuit with the wide leg. I wore for a party, and then this black jumpsuit is like I wear this all the time. It's got a tapered leg jumpsuit. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You wear it with a jacket. I've worn it to weddings, bar mitzvahs, cocktail parties. Your jumpsuit.
What's so nice about the jumpsuit? You put it on, you zip it up. The only thing you're missing is the lipstick and the shoes.
Yeah. Well, you also have a cool wrap that I didn't get that I still would. Do you have it there? You can show us or no? You know the wrap?
Which wrap was it? Was it the bolero cape?
Bolero cape. You have a bolero.
Yes.
But I want you to show an opportunity. I want to give you an opportunity to perhaps show something that's new. What's new in your store that you want to share, or something really exciting?
Something really exciting.
Red dress.
Can you see the red dress behind?
Yeah.
This was quite of a showstopper. I just did one of the fashion shows for the women's service, Chicago Women's Service Club, and they do a lot of great work for different charity. They have lots of choices and they lots of charities to work with, and they do a great job raising money. But this was one of the showstoppers at the show at the Donatera, and it was wonderful to make such a fabulous big red piece to walk on the runway, because we were so locked up through the lockdown, and I felt like we needed the oomph. So I gave it to everyone in this red dress.
Beautiful. What are some of the fashion trends? I know that we were talking today about everyone's been in sweatpants and loungewear. And so what do you say moving forward are people looking towards wearing? Colors or fabrics or feathers, glitter, sequins? What do you see?
I have to say, at the end of the lockdown, we did a lot of tailored pieces, but made out of fabric that you would normally see on sweatpants, like that fuzzy gray.
Really? Oh, I can come to your store and comfy. So tell me more.
So we did those just like the jacket I'm wearing, the same exact style, but with raw edges untrimmed. So you could see the fuzziness of the fabric coming out. We
Wow.
also matching cigarette pants that were finished with elastic on the back. So there was no zipper. You pull them on like sweatpants, but they looked like cigarette pants on the bottom with a little slit.
Oh,
So you could,
cool.
it's very nice for traveling, and it's comfy. So you could dress it up, or you could dress it down, put them with some cute boots and be very comfortable, or even with sneakers, right? But I feel like
People are coming back.
Okay, great.
I feel since we have more events happening right now, women are craving some color and fun and beautiful dress. I think we're done with the comfortable style for a while.
Yes. You know, we've gained the COVID weight, so we need to lose. No, I
Who
mean,
didn't?
who didn't? So that's the whole point, is it's not like we have to lose the weight. It's more about getting the clothes that feel good for us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you also have fabrics, different kinds of fabrics, right? Like,
Yeah.
like
I have to say,
leather.
through lockdown, the fabric research was quite limited because a lot of shows didn't happen. None of the wholesale shows happened, so we didn't do any wholesale collections. And searching for fabrics was difficult because nobody was manufacturing. And I actually still see effects of it right now. So I usually go to trade shows and could feel and touch and bring the fabrics from anywhere.
Yeah.
And those didn't happen. So it was quite challenging to do it online through videos and trying to talk to manufacturing companies and get something out of there.
So our studio audience, you missed, it's okay though, because this is recorded and it's going to be on Facebook. Sylvia and I were just having a talk about all the amazing clothes that she made for me. And especially, I just want to highlight these jumpsuits. This is like a no-brainer. She was saying I have it in black and in cream because you can dress it up, dress it down, put a jacket. And we talked about the different fabrics she uses. And you can definitely learn more about her style if you listen back. But I didn't want to leave our live stream viewers silent. So that was our talk. But I cannot wait to hear about your talk. So let's see, who led a room? Rachel? Did you lead a room?
Yes, we did. We did.
Is everyone's jaw tired?
You know what? I was in a room of smilers. We're all smilers. So I think we all felt pretty good.
Good. And what did people have to say? Did they enjoy the exercise? Do they smile at people every day? Or what happens with that?
Yeah, all of us, I think all of us are very unique people because all of us actually do smile at people. And Melissa talked about how her mom taught her how to smile. And so she feels so lucky that she was raised by a woman who always smiled at her and taught her to smile all the time. And Ro does smile, but she talked about how her daughter is like the happiest person on the planet and is always happy and smiling. So it was just it was a good thing. And then I talked about not only do I smile, but I like to give the "You Are Beautiful" stickers to like also. And we talked about just how really what smiling does is you have no idea how it impacts the other person, and for them just to be seen can really make their day.
The "You Are Beautiful," she has in her mailbox. You explain that for those people listening on streaming. You have a envelope with "You Are Beautiful" stickers, and you say, "Please take one." Like how
For all the delivery drivers, yes.
And I was inspired by you, and I ordered these gratitude rocks I've given some to some of you with keychains, like great gratitude, and I give them to people, especially when they've worked so hard at UPS or different places. I'm like, have a gratitude rock. So you inspired me to do that. So thank you.
Thank you. That makes me so happy.
And Lauren, who led another room? Vanessa? Vanessa, who's smiling.
We had a great room too, also of smilers. And I polled the group where they were from: Canada, Florida, Long Island. And I threw my little French mix in there just to kind of compare and contrast on the cultural side. Everybody smiles and encourages the kids to smile to strangers. Jonathan said that he gets some really funny looks, especially from the elderly population in Florida, that they question why he's smiling at them and why the kids are saying hello.
What's wrong with you? Why are you smiling?
Yeah, right. What do you want from me? What's wrong? Yeah. And yeah, so we kind of touched on the cultural differences because you had mentioned it, Karen, as well. And then we kind of delved into wearing of the masks and what wearing the masks over the last 18 months has done for not being able to see people smiling. And guys, I looked up the word, it's called smizing, like that you're smiling with your eyes because you cannot see the smile behind your mask. And we were talking about how for children especially, Chanel, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to try and nail it as eloquently as you did. But Jonathan also said he would back me up when presenting this, that adults have the learned skill of being able to recognize when other adults or children are smiling with their eyes, because we know that. But other kids don't necessarily know that skill yet. So for them to have missed out on being able to see their friends and people out and about naturally smiling, they've missed out on that for a quite extended period of time. And you know, this is kind of concerning and sad for the kids, and we're going to obviously deal with that. But, you know, let's keep smile with more parts than just this. Smile with everything, you know, with your whole body. Chanel, I hope I did that justice. But I just thought it was brilliant, the discussion that we had in our group. And thank you very much, guys. You didn't hear me thank you, but I thank you all for your participation and your awesomeness.
Community, I love it, and I hope that our viewers and listeners out there are going to be inspired to join us live, because we get to interact and we get to talk and we get to do these fun activities. Lauren, was there another group, or that was it? That was it. Yeah. Well, there's one more group.
Sorry, there's one more. Sydney ran a group too.
Oh, I don't see her here. Is she here?
She's here.
Ed? I don't see
Yes, I was with Tanis as well, and
Okay.
my camera's not on because
No problem.
my company doesn't have Zoom, and there's some Teams issues.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Uh,
How was your group, Sid and Tam?
Our group was a little bit different we were all smiling as well, and we were talking about some of the pain in our jaws actually that we had from the exercises and the different feelings we had. But we actually had a really interesting conversation. Donna and Estella were actually connecting about how they can smile despite some of the family troubles they have going on, and how, you know, despite what's going on in your life and some hardships you might be going through, how it's important to keep smiling through those times. And, you know, it can actually help you get through them as well.
And I just see in the chat. And by the way, guys who are here, any fashion questions you have, because we're going to end with that, please ask, especially my featured goddesses. So Melissa said, oh my gosh, Melissa, can you unmute and talk about that? That's crazy. Wow. Can you tell us?
Yeah, so I was just watching an interview the other day, and it was different doctors and scientists talking about where we're at now, like 10 months into the whole vaccine program and everything. And it wasn't anti or pro or any of that. It was just, how do we move forward beyond where we're at? And the psychiatrist said that we have to understand the impact of some of these things. And on babies, the mask wearing has resulted in babies born since the beginning of 2020 having an IQ 20 points lower than babies born prior to that. Now, I don't know how you test the IQ of a newborn or a baby that's now 18 months old, but obviously they can. And he said it's because they're spending so much time at home with the same people. They're not meeting new people. And when they are meeting new people, those people are masked. And so they're just not learning to read facial features and all of that, which is how babies learn. And so it's really important to have that information, because then we can support those babies with added programming, knowing that that's where we're at today. And then how can we, through preschool and everything else, how can we support those babies in catching up?
Well, I had a mask that had a smiley face on it, which for my preschool kids. By the way, I'm just going to plug you, Melissa. Your guided health journey, she helped me smile when I did my detox. Okay, because I felt great. Okay, so what I want to, we have a question. This is great, Jonathan. So for Sylwia, what is the number one male fashion mistake?
Fashion mistake. I would say, I don't want to be necessarily judgmental, because I think it really depends on personal style and preference, and possibly tradition you were raised with. I mean, when I was younger, my father would say that, let's say, the pants should not have a break or a specific cut on the bottom, or the tie should match pocket square or not. So I really do believe that as long as it's not offensive to anyone, as long as you feel comfortable, just wear it. We live in such beautiful country with so many mixed traditions, religions, styles, races, that, just coming back from Europe, seeing what's happening there, and seeing all the tourists all over the airports, there's no such thing as really a mistake. I think if as long as it's not offensive, comfortable, and makes you happy, wear it. And it might not be the answer he's looking for, but
no, just be confident. Like, that's the whole point. It's just wear it. Be confident. Like, put your shoulders back. Be confident. He also asked, how can a man compliment his significant other through fashion? Well, don't say she looks fat. No, I know you won't. Just say you look great, right? I'm sorry, you answer.
I have to tell you this. There are some women that would love to hear the answer, you look great. And there are some women that will be not so satisfied with that, and they want as answer as possible. So it also depends on your significant other. In my family, my sister expects the most honest opinion from her husband. And I always say, he's your husband, you will be careful responding to that question. But at the same time, you have to understand it. So they are together for so long that it works really well. If you started dating and you would like to give an advice or compliment, obviously there are ways, but I think you have to know the person you're with, how to either accentuate it and not to hurt, and be maybe in a way not politically correct, but you kind of have to be careful about that, and I think match it with the personality.
It's funny because I think we talked about this in our show, in our interview. My husband always says, like Rose said, that looks fabulous on you. And then my daughter, my 23-year-old, when she's home, she's like, Mom, no, take that off. What do you think? You're 19? What are you wearing? So, yeah. And I'm like, then I turned to my husband, I'm like, you didn't tell me the truth. It's the whole thing. So yeah, you got to be very careful, Jonathan. You really do.
But his opinion might be very different than your daughter's.
No, he's just trying to smooth. Okay. So, Vanessa, you have a question. Vanessa, by the way, is so stylish. Every time I see her, yes, you are. She throws together these outfits. Okay, what's your question, Vanessa?
So my question is, thank you very much, Karen. I will graciously accept that compliment, even though I do not feel it's not how I see myself. And I always struggle, and my New Year's resolution every year is I'm going to make more of an effort on how I dress. And it lasts till about January 3rd. And then I go right back into my comfort wear. But my question is, now that everybody or a lot of people are working from home, I've always worked from home. But I do love that feeling when I do dress up well and I put together a nice outfit. And for me, a nice outfit is a belt, like that I've made the extra effort. But that extra spring in your step when you are dressed well, how do you get that feeling when you are working at home and you actually don't see anyone in your work. Like I don't see anyone in my workday. So I'm like sitting here in very comfortable gear. How do you compromise the two? How do you balance the two?
Question.
I have to say that through lockdown, I came to store every day, even though I couldn't see my clients. And I started wearing comfy wear. And I walked through the store and I walked by the mirror and I said, oh my God, what's happening? This is not where I was going with this. So I had the same issue and I decided that I need to change it. So I started with the lipstick. I would work here alone and I would put a red lipstick on because every time I would walk by the mirror, I wanted to see myself in a different way. And then I would do something to my hair. It doesn't have to be evening gown, but it could be a small thing. It could be undergarment that makes us feel good. It could be new color that we're testing on us. There were colors that I never wanted to touch, but at some point I said, oh, today is pink. And I went for it. And it actually is a nice way of observing yourself, how it works on you, how it changes your mood. I know for sure I do not like pea green on me. That does not work well with my mood, but just testing and changing small things, and then maybe going for a little bit more than belt. Maybe it's belt and shoes, and maybe it's the lipstick.
Does that help, Vanessa? Put that red lipstick on. But while we were in the breakout, when you were in the breakout, Sylwia did talk about fabrics and how she actually incorporated the soft comfy wear into a blazer.
Yes.
And pants. So that might be something to think about. And I love that because it's taking like exactly what we were wearing this whole year, and making it more stylish, right? Which is great.
Absolutely. It was quite interesting because I decided that luxury can be also comfortable since everybody was looking for comfort. So I used fabric that is used mostly on sweatpants, that really nice, fuzzy, specifically gray, Rocky Balboa type fabric. And I made jackets that are tailored like the one I'm wearing with trimmed, with roll cut edges. And it was quite interesting. It's one of my favorite jackets to travel with. It still looks stylish, but it's comfy and it's not typical sweatpants.
Not typical sweatpants. Okay, so I think we said, but just to be sure how people can contact you, because I don't see I see just a few Chicagoans here. So you are online as well.
I'm online. I actually have two addresses for the website, and I saw that someone was trying to correct it. There is either sylwiaw.com or .net. That's our website. I purchased both of the sites just for safety. They can always call me. My number is 847-801-9496. They can contact me through Facebook. It's Sylwia Designs, or Instagram, Sylwia_fashion_designs. That was the shortest name I could find. And they can also email me through sylwiadesigns@gmail.com. I'm really hard to hide in, and they can walk in and knock on my door in the store here in Lincoln Park.
And people can just walk in, right? Or do you need to make an appointment? Okay.
It's always easier if they make an appointment, because if I do have an appointment at the moment, I might not be able to help right away. So they will have to wait. So it's always easier to call and make an appointment if they are.
Rachel, you and I will go. Okay. Okay. Raffle time. So this is so generous, Sylwia. Okay. She's going to give 20% off I'm not going to say it right. Off the rack. Ready to wear.
Ready to wear.
But if our winner, you're going to size it for them. So it's not just going to be a size 0. Like if our winner wins and they want it, they can purchase it 20% off, and you will measure, they'll send you their measurements.
Or they can look at the website. We have a measuring chart.
Okay. So Sylvia, we're gonna raffle that off, Lauren, and I'm also gonna give something fun and silly that will make you smile. Now hers is a little better than mine, but mine's still good. So are we ready? Let's do mine first. Who's gonna win my secret prize? You're muted, Lauren. You're muted.
Your secret prize goes to Estella.
Oh, yay. Okay, Estella, I'm going to need your address. You'll email me, Karen@Grateful Goddesses, okay? Can you do that? Lauren, can you put that in the chat?
Sure. Let me just do that.
Surprise gift that will make you smile. Trust me. And who's going to win the 20% off?
This one goes to Ro.
Ro, this is perfect for you because she's the gutsy gal. Can you unmute Ro?
Yes.
I was looking at the dresses already. They're absolutely gorgeous. The
Thank
off the shoulder ones, I just really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful styling. I like them.
I
Yay.
have to show you this red dress. So this is how we started. She told me to wear red. I modeled the Oscar gown, but then I went back and I said, okay, I like the red. Make me a red dress. And she made this dress and it comes in all different colors and it's so classic. It's, business attire, but I've also worn it. I was saying in the breakout room, when you guys were in the breakout room, I've worn it with sneakers and like a leather jacket or a jean jacket. So cool. So I hope you enjoy shopping, Ro. And
Thank you. Thank you, Sylvia.
Enjoy smiling. Homework, smile tomorrow on your walk and see how many people think you're crazy and who cares, right? Spread the love. So join us again on Grateful Goddesses. Raise your mug. Cheers. Yay. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Sylvia, stay on. Thank you, Rachel, Vanessa. Sam.
Recording stopped.
Yay. So Ro, oh, she left. I'll reach out to Ro. And Estella, you'll send me your address.
Yes, I will.
I'm so hot. And thank you, Lauren. I can't hear you, Lauren. You're muted again.
Sorry, the dogs are snoring, so
Okay.
I kept it muted so that it won't bother anybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sylvia. And let me know if anyone contacts you. I hope they do. And
Thank you.
Sylvia, I cannot believe I haven't been to your store before.